television, that is KBC Channel 1, and on radio, which includes our 13 radio stations. With KBC geographical coverage advantage in Kenya media landscape, Kenyans in all parts of the country need not to miss a moment of our local soccer action, either on TV or radio. It's our hope that we continue to live up to our slogan, your true sports partner. That the government will continue supporting KBC to acquire AFCON 2024 broadcast rights, as well as 2024 Olympic Games. We can all agree that sports unite all of us. KBC will strive to be a thread that binds this unity through quality broadcast of live football. We appeal to all our partners in government institutions, departments, corporate companies, and even individuals to take advantage of the revamped KBC programming to advertise with us both on radio and TV. Ladies and gentlemen, my gratitude, heartfelt gratitude to His Excellency President Dr. William Ruto for his support and goodwill to KBC. He has channeled resources to us that have greatly helped us in our turnaround strategy that we are implementing. We thank our two CSs here present and the PS and the two PSs for tireless support and effort to keep KBC alive and successful. To FKF, this partnership is here to stay, and we must solidify this partnership. To all all of us, remember to stay tuned to KBC, your true sports partner. God bless you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, KBC Acting MD, Mr. Samuel Maina. I'll now take this opportunity now to invite the President of Football Kenya Federation, Mr. Nick Mwando. Karibu, Nick.
Thank you, Eric. I want to be brief today. Mawaziri, CS Ababu na Mwamba, CS Eliud Owilo, PS Kisangani, we have spent... Kuna mchezaji ameshani confused anaitwa Owilo. Pole CS Eliud Owalo, pole sana. We have spent many hours cooking this, and I think at some point it leaked out, and I had to say, no, it's not true. It leaked out because we were cooking, and I have been traversing offices trying to get it over the line. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a deal, and I will go straight to what the deal is. So, we did a deal for pay TV with Azam. So Azam TV is our paid TV partner. And when we were doing that, most pay TV partners don't allow you to do free-to-air deals. But since we had been talking with CS Ababu for a long time, broadcasters who are viewed by everyone like KBC. So now, the deal we have signed is $750,000 for free-to-air and $500,000 for radio. So all KBC radios, vernacular, English, na Kiswahili, they will be free to commentate, to have highlights, to discuss, to comment, all radios. And that, MD Samuel Maina has been telling me, is so powerful. And we know how powerful radio is, those of us who had a chance to listen to radio many years ago. Now, this deal will give every Premier League club 10 million shillings per year. 10 million shillings is a record, has never been done. This combination of the deal, the KBC deal, and the Azam deal has allowed us to get to 10 million for the clubs. I know you'd say that it's not what we want, but it's never been done, and it's a first time, And I want to thank everybody that has done this to make sure that happens. More than that is that we'll be able also to help our Women Premier League to pay for referees for them. They've been struggling. And also our NSL referees will be paid from this kitty. So those three things are so key for you to understand. There are, of course, many other things we have to do. But among that, we had an exchange with the ministry's team about, what about the club that wins? And it was a long conversation, and I think CS and PS had views. And we settled that the winner takes away 5 million, but that's not the big point. The big point is that 11 million shillings will be prorated according to where you are on the standings to the other 17 teams. For now, we will have a gala night. We will have awards like we've had before traditionally. Best player, most promising player, all that at the end of the season. This has been enabled by doing this deal. So let me say why this is so critical for us in football. Now you have seen our national teams, Harambee Stars against Gabon losing narrowly 2-1. You have seen us playing against Seychelles. And I can tell you, team ndogo zimetusumbua sana. Mimi, I was more worried about Gabon, about Seychelles kuliko Gabon. Because I know what has happened before, na Eritrea and these kind of countries. Now we took 1 win, there are 8 matches to go. Yesterday we drew 1-1 against Botswana. You would say at home. We are going away on Tuesday. I believe we have a chance and I will be there to see it. Our under-18 team, you have seen, are in the semi-finals. And all this, in a short period of time, the support we have received from this ministry. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been here 7 years. Okay, 1 year was ish. I've been here 7 years. But we have never been supported in this way. I want to state it clearly on this podium today. Waziri, asante sana. Now, you can, once you do this, ukona AFCON inakuja, mimi naweza wacha kukupigia simu. Because I think now, after hapa, clubs are happy. And you know now, I know he will announce, but we are doing also something about the other clubs. Once that happens in January, remember, this is a 7-year deal. It's not a 1-year deal. It's a 7-year deal that escalates by $100,000 every year. Kwa hivyo hii pesa ya clubs itaongezeka na 15 millions kila mwaka. So tutakuwa tunagawa hiyo pesa kwa expenditure na clubs kila mwaka as the years go by. By the time it is 7 years, I think we'll have closed this. I believe in 7 years because the KBC deal, I believe that itakuwa even bigger. But for those watching football, kila weekend sasa game 2 utaona free on KBC. Kama uendi grao sasa utaona 2 hapo, game 2 hapo. Kama uko na Azam yako utaona game 3. So game 5 in a weekend ziko kwa TV. 5 matches. We are just a few matches to having all matches on TV. I know that Azam are committed to do the rest, maybe by year 3. So by year 3, all football in Kenya will be on TV. But if you can't afford to pay for it, you can watch it on KBC anywhere you want, from the north to the south. Na vile tumesema, hii ni yetu. So waziri, CS Owalo, na waziri nataka kushukuru sana kwa watu wa football. You might not know what this means. I was with the clubs yesterday, and someone called me in the night to say that you might just have saved my team with this deal. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I don't think we have done anything bigger than this in our time. Over time, I think people will understand it. So I want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much. Asante sana kwa wenye ball na kila kitu. I want to end it there. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Nick Mwandwa, the President of Football Kenya Federation. Now it's my pleasure to invite the PA State Department for Broadcasting and Telecommunication, Professor Edward Kisangani. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Cabinet Secretary for Sports, Cabinet Secretary for Information, Communication and Digital Economy, and the entire sports fraternity, the football group that is here, our team from KBC, Sports Fund, all the stakeholders who have been part of this process. I recognize you and I honor you. We are here for a very brief occasion, and as the President of Football in Kenya has stated, we started off long time ago discussing this. I convened meetings in my office. A couple of you were there. We didn't think that we could crack this. I want to tell you that the main person behind this project is not ourselves. The main person behind this project is His Excellency the President. His Excellency the President gave directives that we must support football. We must support sports. He's the #1 sports person here, and as CS Ababu will confirm, the President is very keen about what we are doing here. And the reason why he's doing that is because he loves sports, but also because our agenda, the better agenda, emphasizes the need to empower the youth so that they can use their talent to make money, but also to bring down programs to the people, to the young people who may not even afford to go to the stadium. These are the kids who will watch football, watch skills, and start developing them from the villages. So we are bringing the matangazo to the villages through the only broadcaster, as he puts it, in our country. So government is really committed to this exercise. Some of us are football fanatics. We love football. We grew up within this football culture, and we can discuss things. I put the president of football in my office through a long discussion on what our football philosophy is. And I asked him, Kenya needs to develop its own football philosophy so that we do not change just because we have lost. And one of the things that I've been very, very keen about is that most of the football groups within the country are so keen about winning rather than developing skills, helping our youth to have the skills. Most of our kids, I think things have improved under you, Pana President. I have seen a few places, but most of our players would stop balls and the balls are picked by other people because they can't stop balls in the same spot. And those football skills must be learned at a very tender age. But if there are no role models that the kids can learn from, especially senior players, through television, when kids are at home during weekends and they cannot find any role models because their parents cannot afford to pay for DSTV, these kids will not realize their full potential and talent. And through football, we're now taking money to the pockets of our sports people. You have heard that part of this money that we're using for this sponsorship will directly go to the players, go and pay the referees. That is how to develop the game. I think you must also spend some time to think about the coaching staff. These guys do a lot of work. If you have never coached football, you won't understand how bad it is. Because you see, it's like you are a witch, but there is a super witch also planning how he can beat you. You have seen how teams collapse. So you sleep overnight and you have nightmares how you will win. spare a moment for these coaches. I think when I look at our football and I compare to what we were maybe 30 years ago, over 30 years ago probably, when Gor Mahia won the Africa Cup of Nations, I mean the Mandela Cup. It was not the Africa Cup of Nations, but it was the Mandela Cup, 1987. You know, you think about it and you say, if we have clips Maina, we need to show our kids the clips of Austin Odwore, the clips of Peter Dow, how they scored against the Tunisian club and won the Mandela Cup. The clips of this Charles Otieno, the midfield, and George Nyangi Odembo. These guys, do we have their replicas here? George Onyango Fundi, do we have those people around us? Do we have Wilberforce Mlamba? Do we have JJ Masiga? Do we have John Okello Zangi? These guys did not have the facilities, Bwana President, that we have today. Do we have Douglas Mtua? These guys, we need to give them respect by building teams that can do what they used to do. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are celebrating something good, something that brings pleasure, and you know you transit from pleasure to sadness when your team loses. So, it is orgasmic. Football is life. Football is orgasmic. That is why those who follow football are fanatical. And we continue doing that. The passion that we want to develop for our game should be the best you can find on the African continent. And I'm glad to recognize that the Ministry of Sports now has the correct person to run football and support us. The personnel you have in our Ministry of Sports is the correct one. And we must thank His Excellency the President for doing what he did, appointing these people to run our sports. But you are also lucky we have a cabinet secretary in communication who also loves football, loves sports, but wants us. Every time he asks me, what are we doing about promoting football through our, promoting sports through our ministry? And I give him reports, but sometimes he gets so impatient and he tells me, please make sure that tomorrow you don't tell me the same story. And I do it until recently he pulled me and we went somewhere where he shocked everybody by presenting a new bus to Gor Mahia Football Club. Leadership is about action. Bwana President, you don't keep telling people things you can't do. Please, you are on the right track. Promote football. Everybody's crying out for us to start winning trophies, but to do that, we must be patient with skills and work hard to build the youth programs, but we must also promote our game through television. This is why we are here. With those remarks, I have nothing else to say, but I suppose if the protocol is right, I'm heading towards inviting the Minister for Communication to come and speak to us. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, good people. Now, today we are here to witness a major partnership between FKF and the national broadcaster KBC. This is something that has not happened perhaps over the past 2 decades, because we are now on the threshold of witnessing a gigantic phase in our football, where Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, through all its channels, will have the opportunity to transmit live all Kenya Premier League matches, both on television and radio. And this, to me, is a game changer, because it gives us the opportunity to showcase the immense potential that we have among our youth. Our history is awash with examples of instances where we have had very good soccer players, but because of lack of exposure, these players get into retirement without their talents being fully exploited, because they cannot be tapped because nobody witnesses them playing. So we are going to have a situation where our soccer players can be watched far and wide within the continent and beyond. And this is one of the avenues through which we are going to have an appropriate marketing strategy for the local talents in soccer. So for this partnership, I really want to thank the Ministry of Sports for leading from the front, and of course by extension FKF and the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, and has been articulated by PS Kisiangani. All this we are doing under the tutelage and leadership of His Excellency the President, who is our #1 sports fan in this country. In the same vein, let me take this opportunity to urge our youth to take soccer, and any other sport for that matter, seriously. Sports today is a major industry with great potential for our youth. It is no longer the case that one has to go the full hog through the formal education line to earn a living. Today, sports is a big source of income. We have seen billionaires emanate from sports. So we want to laud this partnership because it gives our youth the opportunity to showcase their talent far and wide across the borders. I want to thank the Ministry of Sports for taking the initiative to spearhead this program, and I want to urge you to go the extra mile to get sponsorship for our local community clubs in soccer. I've said many a time before, I want to repeat that the potential, the future of soccer in this country lies with the community clubs, as we also support the institutional clubs. We need to get back to the 80s, where there was intense rivalry between our local clubs. We want to get back to the 80s, where year in, year out in the league, Gor Mahia was #1, AFC Leopards #2, or vice versa. And that is what gave us the foundation that built a very formidable national soccer team during those days. We had a strong Harambee Stars team that conquered all teams within the East and Central African region. So let us support our community clubs, but also we want to witness good governance in football. That is one of the biggest challenges that we have been facing in this country. Unless and until we have got good governance in football, the corporates will not put money into football. When it comes to elections of officials in clubs, please, let's get the right people to the right positions. Let us not get wrong people in the right positions in management of football. With those many remarks, it is now my singular duty and privilege to welcome my brother, CS Ababu Namwamba, to give his speech.
Asante sana. There is a tide in the affairs of men, which taken at the flood leads on to fortune, omitted all the voyage of their life is bound in shallows and in miseries. On such a full sea, we are now afloat, and we must take the current when it serves, or lose our ventures. That is a poetic passage put together by Shakespeare. And Shakespeare is talking about taking advantage of opportunity, exploiting opportunity to its fullest. I want to tell our sportsmen and women that never in the history of this country, and in about 2 weeks we'll be celebrating Kenya at 60. We will be celebrating 60 years of our independence. Never at any time in the history of this country have we had a government that is so deliberate, so intentional, so structured, so focused on transforming sports from merely a form of entertainment to a business, an economic activity, and a fulcrum of the country's development, like the government you have today. Never has this country had a president who is so clear and is so deliberate in positioning sports as an anchor of the economy of this country, like President William Ruto. You saw the president yesterday with Ron Harper at State House, igniting a truly historic deal that we have struck with the NBA to take Kenyan basketball to a whole new dimension. And I could stand here and recite a litany of initiatives, of measures, of interventions that the president himself has ignited or initiated and is keen to see come to fruition for the development of Kenyan sports and Kenyan creatives. On the 14th day of May this year, the president came to Nyayo Stadium to watch the first installment of the Mashemeji Derby of this current season. And the president watched the game, and he enjoyed the game, and we got into a conversation. And our conversation was pivoting around our Talanta Hela initiative of identifying, nurturing, and monetizing talent. And that conversation focused on how to put money in the bank accounts of our football teams, and most importantly, in the pockets of our players, of our coaches, of our referees, and the whole ecosystem around football. And I can tell you, the president was very clear in terms of the model we should have. And so I want to join my colleagues, Professor, and my brother Eliud, in confirming to you that indeed President William Ruto has been a champion of not just this particular effort, but many other efforts that we are rolling out in sports and the creatives. And so today, I am absolutely delighted to witness yet another fruit of the plan. The plan for the uninitiated is the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto. When you go to page 39 of the plan, we talk about a lot of things you are seeing us doing, and especially monetization of talents. The plan has since taken the policy frame of the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, better agenda. And in the better agenda, we are very clear about the place of sports and the creatives in driving our economic revival and our economic transformation. What you are witnessing here today is part of the Talanta Hela initiative. I meet people who are still wondering what Talanta Hela is. Talanta Hela is exactly what those two Swahili words mean. Talanta Hela. It is where talents meet livelihoods. Talents become revenue streams. That's what Talanta Hela is. Talanta Hela is what you saw with the school ball games in Kakamega. Many people have been discussing how the school ball games this year were on another level. It is because we put in 267 million shillings. People may not know that we actually, as a ministry, we invested in the school ball games. We invested in the music festival. We invested in the drama and film festival. People are mesmerized by the junior stars under 18 team and the football they are playing in Kisumu. That is an end game of the Talanta Hela pipeline. A lot of those kids who are mesmerizing people in Kisumu were picked from the national school ball games. Many of them were attended Kenya's first ever national holiday talent camp that we hosted at Kasarani after the school ball games. Good people, ask no more. This is Talanta Hela. This is what Talanta Hela is. This is how Talanta Hela looks like. And as part of that program, we have agreed with many federations, not just the Kenya Football Federation. Early this morning, I had a ceremony with Athletics Kenya, where we were launching Africa's first ever pension scheme for athletes and endowment fund for retired athletes. It is part of this program, and we have put in significant money in both programs, pension scheme and endowment fund. And I'm challenging FKF that the next thing I want to see, yesterday after watching our Harambee Starlets at Kasarani, you and I ran into a former player, Otuoma, who has been put down by a nervous degenerative condition. What arrangement do we have when we lose players like Otuoma at his prime and run into challenges such as is afflicting that young man? I want to come to another ceremony like I've done with Athletics Kenya to launch a pension fund and an endowment fund for retired footballers. But today, let me conclude. I'm just delighted that after months, good people, we have spent a lot of time on this deal. Let me admit that the reason why this deal was delayed to be made public, I am owning up in public on live TV. I delayed this deal for a few factors. Factor number one, I wanted more money to clubs. I wanted to squeeze as much as possible for clubs. Factor number two, I want a prorated arrangement where a team gets something for the position they finish on the log. I mean, and I told you, Nick, and your team at FKF, that it must mean something to finish number 2. It must mean something to finish number 10 and not number 17. And I wanted the position where you finish on the log to be directly commensurate to a financial package besides the basic package that you receive. We agreed on both factors. We took time. It took us time, but we agreed. I failed on 2 other factors which I wanted. I had 4. I got those 2. I failed on trying to get the Women Premier League to be part of this, because what is good for the goose must also be good for the gander. I wanted girls to be part of this package. FKF gave me a long story of why girls cannot be part of this package. I wanted to see whether we could bring in the, what do you call it, the nationwide. I was also given another long story. But we have agreed on this package, and I'm glad that for a start, we are providing $1.6 million, which is just over 40 million Kenya shillings for this start. That guarantees every single team, each one of you, the 18 teams in the Premier League, you are guaranteed minimum 10 million shillings. And then we have another package for where you finish on the log, prorated. So, kazi kwenu mujitume. If you finish number 2, it will mean a little more than if you finish number 11. We have worked out that formula. But I'm also happy that from this package, we can guarantee referees. The referees will be paid. And referees, you'll be paid from this package for the Premier League, for the Women Premier League, and the Nationwide League. All the referees in that ecosystem. We hope that this can then grow progressively over the coming seasons. Let me also take this opportunity to announce that we have already started discussions for the Women League, the Women Premier League. We will be able to work out a package for the Women Premier League. I want the Women Premier League both on TV, on live TV, and also monetized in similar manner that we are doing. I have no doubt that women football is the next big thing in sports. And as a country, we have to invest heavily in women football. We are also working out a package for the lower leagues, for the Nationwide League, going all the way to the lower segments of the league. But let us start here. This is where we are able to start. And then as we move along, we'll be able to progress it to the other levels. I want to congratulate KBC. You have already been a partner even before we signed this deal. You accepted our request to air the school ball games for the first time in Kenyan history. And I can tell you, those youngsters, the Aldrin Kibets, the Amos Wanjalas, they were completely elated to play on live TV for the first time as schoolboys. We have also been in partnership around other sporting events, and KBC has been a true partner. And we are delighted that we are sealing this deal in this fashion. I want to urge the FKF to use this package as a launching pad to take Kenyan football to the next level. And taking Kenyan football to the next level is about transparency, accountability, and good governance. If there is one thing that is holding Kenya football back, it is those 3 factors: transparency, accountability, and governance. And that extends to you clubs. I can assure you, you clubs, if you are transparent and accountable and have proper governance, you are sitting on diamond mines. All of you as football clubs, you are sitting on diamond mines. Stop treating your clubs as little fiefdoms for your self-aggrandizement. Unleash the full potential that is locked in your clubs. Be transparent. Be accountable for every resource coming to you. And run your clubs as corporate entities. The Tanzanians are doing it just across the border. Tanzania football could not hold the candle to Kenyan football just a few years ago. Now we are using them as a benchmark. Like, seriously? Seriously? That Gor Mahia tells me they want to go to train on Azam FC grounds in Tanzania. Like, seriously? Gor Mahia, you want to go to train on a ground built by a club born the other day? And you are the only African champion in this region, indeed south of the Sahara, north of the Limpopo. Come on. What does it say about you as Gor Mahia? That you can actually come to tell us you want to go to train on a ground of Azam. There must be something very wrong with you. And I'm telling you, I'll not papa you. Be serious, be accountable, be transparent, and run your clubs as corporate entities. There's no reason why Gor Mahia is not in the Champions League this year. Because of little administrative hiccups. You lose a chance to enter a space that is a money spinner. Government will do everything. Policy, legislation, support, we will do it. But you must also play your role. Run your clubs well. And I can tell you Kenyan football will fly. And please support our initiative to develop talent. FKF, can you make it an irreducible minimum that every club must have a junior side? And you must start a junior league, just the way we have. No, I want to see junior league, serious junior league, so that we can feed these teams, we can feed Harambee Stars, we can feed the whole ecosystem through a junior league system, a serious one. You do those things, there's no reason why Kenya should not be guaranteed a place at the World Cup. Kenya should be a shoe-in for the Africa Cup of Nations anytime. And government support is guaranteed. And finally, you clubs, hooliganism, destroying our stadia. You go to our stadia, you play, then you start ripping up seats. Really? Really? Now we are putting you on live TV. You want to rip up seats on live TV? You want kids watching you on live TV to watch you fighting in stadia? By the way, it doesn't matter whether you are on live TV or not. Say no to hooliganism in Kenyan football. We want families to be comfortable to come and watch football. We want fans to be back in the stadia. And as government, led by myself and this ministry, we are mobilizing fans back to stadia. Who wants to come to stadia when they know they will not know where their shoes have disappeared to before the game ends? Because people will be running helter-skelter all over the place. So please, stop hooliganism in football. Tuende tucheze game, kuna kushindwa. Asiyekubali kushindwa si mshindani. Okay? Cheza, shinda, usishinde, go back home peacefully, because I believe all of you want us to fill our stadia. And all of you want a good atmosphere that is safe in our stadia. So congratulations, good people. Please let us support our teams. I see obsession with the English Premier League. Let us transfer that obsession to the KPL. Now KPL is going to be on TV every weekend. when there is a clash between the EPL and the KPL, when there is a clash between DSTV and KBC, switch on KBC and watch a local game. Let us grow a strong fan base for our clubs and also for our national team. And anytime our national team plays, please come and watch them. Come and watch our girls play. Thank you, those who came to watch our girls play yesterday. Next year in June, Harambee Stars will be playing their home games in the World Cup qualifiers. Let us come and watch them play. And as our boys play in Kisumu and Kakamega, let us fill the stadia and cheer them to victory. Bottom line, this government is investing in the development of our sports, and our football definitely, certainly, without an ambiguity, is on the right trajectory. Asanteni sana.
Shukran sana CS Ababu, CS Owalo, Nick, Professor, and the KBCMD. Now we're going to the second part of our session today. That is the signing of the agreements between KBC and the Football Kenya Federation. We're just changing our seats to have proper ones. So at this point, I would like to invite on stage now the president of FKF, Nick Mwandwa. Barry Otieno, please join Nick, and then Elena Shiveka, KBC, and also the managing director, KBC. Please, Mr. Samuel Maina, please join Nick, Barry, and Shiveka on stage for this. Pen, Grace Pen. Yes, now it's the signing ceremony now between KBC MD, Mr. Samuel Maina, and the president of Football Kenya Federation, Nick Mwandwa. Asajeni sana, this is now the unveiling of KBC as the Football Kenya Federation Premier League free-to-air broadcast partner, like we've just been told a couple of minutes ago. It's the new dawn now for the free-to-air broadcaster for the KBC TV and also all the radio stations and digital. Thanks a lot, Ms. Elena Shiveka, KBC. And also Barry Otieno, General Secretary and COK, FKF, Football Kenya Federation, flanked by Football Kenya Federation President Nick Mwandwa and the MD KBC, Mr. Samuel Maina. Behind them is the CS for Sports, CS for ICT, and PS for ICT. And now a photo session now for the exchange now. Just a minute, please, President. Kidogo tu. Opportunity now, that is the MDKBC Samuel Maina, Football Kenya Federation, President Nick Mwandwa. Behind them, we've got the PS State Department for Broadcasting and Telecommunication, Professor Edward. A photo. Please, let's smile. Let's put some smile, please, on our faces. President and Mr. Babu, to smile, please. Tuangalie cameras. It's It's a new dawn in Kenyan football. Nice. Timo, utasema kama tuko sawa? Yes, the clubs, FKF PL clubs. Karibuni sana, the Football Kenya Federation clubs. Jay.
Finals at Nyayo Stadium. The program will start on Sunday from 11 in the morning. We actually have the draw for the finals this evening. And then from Sunday we are on. 16 counties that qualified for the finals will be competing for the winners to play on Jamhuri Day after the national celebrations. So please spread the word, and he'll help mobilize the funds to come. And for football clubs, the Talanta Hela initiative, which is really under 19 targeted, is also a good hunting ground for you. So come look at the boys, come look at the girls, and you might just spot a talent that could improve your team. So karibuni sana to the start of the finals on this Sunday, the 3rd of December. Asanteni.
Shukran sana, CS for Sports, Ababu Namwamba. We've now come to the end of our program today. Thanks a lot for coming through. It's now our time now to leave, but